Hello world, Shelly here, and today I've got an eye look with the brand new Alter Ego Wildwood eyeshadow palette. This is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Yucca palette at a much more reasonable price. And I don't have the Natasha Denona palette because, as you see, this is a pretty warm-toned color story. I don't really wear too many warm tones. There's a couple pops of cool in here to ground it, but the whole point of this palette, really, color story-wise, is earth tones, golds and browns and greens. And I do love greens, don't get me wrong, but I don't wear these greens quite a bit. I'm a little more on the cool tone, like the winter version of greens. But I have to, I've already started playing with the palette, so I've worn it a couple times already. But this is not a first impression. You know I typically love Alter Ego palettes. This one is no exception. It is wonderful. I don't have the Natasha Denona to compare it directly to, so I'm just going to do an eye look for you. Now, the challenge I decided to put it against today is, can this very reasonably priced eyeshadow palette hold up to the rest of my very expensive face? So today's makeup, first I did all of my skincare with the Suryahan skincare kit. It is a K-Beauty kit that I picked up recently and am loving, and I am also wearing my handmade Bakuchiol cream. I just made a fresh batch, so that is restocked on my website. And I'm wearing the Shiseido Revitalescence Skin Glow Foundation. My bronzer is Charlotte Tilbury. My blush and highlight are the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. Had to get some Natasha in there anyway, even if I don't have the eyeshadow palette to go with it. So that is what I have already applied to my face. Oh, and my concealer, I dug out the by Terry, the Terry Bliss Densless concealer. This stuff is so good and so pricey. So I'm wearing a pretty expensive face. Let's see if this eye look can hold up to the expensive rest of my face. So I've got the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer here. I will use this. You know I'm a MAC Paint Pot and Painterly kind of girl, but I will show you that this eye primer is lovely as well. It reminds me a whole lot of the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which used to be my favorite. And so if you are a fan of the Primer Potion, you might find that you like the Alter Ego, which is also less expensive, just as well. So we are primed. Here's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. Now, in playing with it so far, you can see I've been playing with the blues and the greens over here. I think I'm gonna go for like a straight up kind of everyday neutral. Now, I do like a little bit more color in my neutral, so instead of, you know, they've got this lined up pretty well where you could go on these verticals or even 2x2 and use any of these sets of colors in the verticals. But I think what I'm going to go with is sort of these four down here. That probably as my transition, my crease. I'll deepen the crease outer corner. That'll be the very, very outer corner. For the shimmers, I'm thinking I'm still kind of debating between these two, the sort of light green and then this sort of, I don't know what I would call that, like almost a bronzy platinum, but I'm also tempted to get this slate gray, this grayish blue in there a little bit. I don't know. We'll decide when we get to that point. Now, all of my favorite brushes are still packed in my travel bag, which I have not brought from my bedroom to my vanity yet. Good thing I'm a brush hoarder, and I have a ton of other brushes that I can use. Actually, some of my favorites are still here. I only took one of each kind on my trip. So this is the Wingos 05 in his more recent set of brushes. Let me zoom you guys in just a smidge. That way you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, my lips are terrible. I should just put some lip mask on. This is the Lawless. This is the Forget the Filler sleeping mask, but I use it during the day because my lips are so dry. And this stuff's so good. It is. It's lovely. Thank you, Lawless. You're amazing. Keep making awesome things. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think I'm going to go into the lighter orangish shade Amber and use that as transition. It's a pale shade, so it works well for transition. And since I kind of have in mind to do like a 4-color matte instead of my typical 3-color matte, it works well. Because my crease is going to kind of have 2 colors going on. I want to use that deeper orange, but I also want some more depth of just shadow look to it. I feel like I have a cat hair on my nose. So yeah, since we're going to have multiple crease colors, it works well that this one is super light, because this one's really not going to contribute as much to the crease as it is above the crease. That's kind of the intent. It is truly transition. And you see how I've got my brush so that the majority, you know, I've got it anchored in my deepest part of my crease, but the majority of the bristles I have going above my crease so that I'm coloring that space in between the crease and my eyebrow. Now, if you don't have a ton of space there between your crease and your eyebrow, then you might not do it this way. But oh gosh, cat hair, I feel it. I just feel it. It's everywhere. Whew. Yeah. Now, I don't have as much space when I relax my eyes, as you see. So one thing I like to do is relax my eyes, look in the mirror, and make sure I can still see some of that color to make sure I brought it high enough and it's not all hidden in my crease, and we're fine. So we're good. Another Wingos brush. This was from his last set, the 18. I don't think you can get this one anymore, at least not in the US. I know he's in the process of changing things and starting his website, but it only ships to the UK right now. So, yeah. Okay, here's the strategy I think we're going to go with. I'm going to go into the deeper orange because really the 2 colors that I want are the deeper orange and this color as my crease. And then this guy is going to become the, nope, I'm pointing, not that one. Deeper orange, then this guy in the crease for the depth, and then that'll be the outer corner depth. That's what I'm thinking. So let's start with Citrus, that deeper orange. Now this brush is a lot like the Sigma E25, which is my favorite crease brush. This one's just a little more fluffy. Similar shape though. You basically want anything, do you see how it's kind of flat? You basically want that flat-ish kind of brush. So you don't want it to splay so much that you cover up. See how it doesn't go quite as high as my last brush? You don't want to cover up what you just put with the transition. You just want a little bit. You want it to fill the crease, basically. And I do this little wiggle thing over in the outer corner just to kind of soften that edge going into the rest of my shadow. I'm really just trying to give some depth to the crease, because for me, that crease, again, when I relax my lids, when I relax my eyes, that's the heaviest part of my eye right there. And so you kind of want darker colors to make that visually recede the heaviest part of your eye, where shimmers, brighter colors, highlights will make that pull forward in your view, your span of attention. So That is the purpose of darkening that part of my crease, because on me, I've got like just excess skin there. It's just a heavy part of my eye. I'm gonna stick with this same brush and go into that shade Trail, that medium beige brown. And I'm gonna try to splay this even less, because the orange, I wanted it to be just sort of blending up into the transition, but this one I just want it to deepen, just deepen the crease. I don't want it going anywhere higher. So I'm staying very much in the crease. I don't want it to exceed, do you see where my bone is? I don't want it to exceed that area. Or the orange, I'm probably going to end up going back and making sure there is a little bit more of that, just tiny bit above and on that bone. But this brown, I don't want it to go that high. All right, I'm gonna stop with that brush. Oh, I have two Sigma E25s. I could use my Sigma E25. I'm not going to though. All right, so we're gonna save the deeper shade for later. I need a flat shadow brush. Which one should I use? Let's do the Alter Ego brush number 5. This is just a flat shader brush, packer brush. Actually, I am going to start with just a little bit of that deeper brown. What is that one called? Oak. And we're going to touch this up later. This is just to put a base down. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be blendy. I just want some dark color in this outer corner. And I'm stopping at the crease. I'm not going into my crease. We're going to do that later with a fluffy blending brush. I just want a little color on the outside there. Just so that when I put the shimmer down, I don't get any gaps in my skin there. You know what I'm saying? I just want to pack down some dark shadow. Not too high, since we're not using a blending brush right now. But I will go back and blend that edge. This is just preparation. I'm wiping off that brush in the color switch, and now I have to make that decision that I've been putting off. Okay, I'm gonna do the shade Ray in the outer half of my lid, and then the shade Golden in the inner. Ray is probably gonna be like 2/3. Golden will be like the inner third. We'll see, we'll see. I don't want to make any promises. So I'm not going to go as far over as the darkest. I'm going to just slightly overlapping. I'm going to start with just a little where it overlaps, and then I will dig in and get that lid color on there. Because I don't want to push too hard where I've got that other shadow underneath, because that's going to be like a transition, like a layering situation. But on my main lid, yeah, I want all that payoff. Like, I want all of it. And I kind of try to get like a faux cut crease looking kind of look at the top there. But you see how it fades out a little bit? We're going to touch up the dark with a blending brush. But do you see how you don't want full foil? Because then it's just gonna stop, and you don't want it to be abrupt. So I go almost all the way. First go is just a little light, barely touching the eye. Overlap. Then I go in and boom. Give it the full Monty. Get the little fake cut crease action. You can also use fingertips. I think I went farther on this eye than I did on this eye. You'll get the most payoff of that like buttery shimmer with fingertips. But I find with Alter Ego's shimmers, most of the time, I'm fine with just doing them with a brush, which is easier, then my hands don't get all messy, because then I forget that I have shadow on my fingers, and then I wipe it on my pants, and my jeans have eyeshadow everywhere, you know, whatever. I'm a hot mess anyway. Let's go into that golden shade. This might be too gold. I don't know. We'll find out. No, it's not. It's actually... They're very similar. It's really just a little bit lighter. That shade Ray. The Ray has a little bit more orange tone to it, whereas golden is just the yellow. At a glance, I don't think you can really tell too much of a difference. But a discerning eye surely could. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm looking in the mirror over here. I'm going to blink slow and see if you can see it. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. That shade Ray is like a gold / orange or a gold rust. Ooh, when I had my head turned, you see how it's orangey? It's a duochrome. It looks gold in its like normal phase, but then if you catch it at the angle, do you see? There it switched. It turns into like a rust color, like an orangey rust color. That's a cool duochrome. I don't think I've seen that combination before. That's pretty cool. All right, that's enough of the flat shadow. Now I'm gonna grab, this is a What's Up Beauty brush. It is really good for detailed blending, the R103. Two things I want to do. First, I'm going to go back in with the orange, which I usually do this last, but I'm going to go into that super dark brown, and I don't want this, I want to use the same brush, so I don't want to take anything too dark. I'm really just going right up above to make sure we don't lose that transition. So I'm using that citrus orange color. So I'm making sure right along the top of my crease. Now this eye, this spot right here is the spot that never holds eyeshadow for me. Right there. And of course it's still not holding eyeshadow. It is what it is. You know, you just gotta work with what you got. I'm gonna wipe my brush off and now I'm gonna go into that lightest orange, the amber shade. And just make sure we did not lose that light transition. I'm barely touching the skin right now. Just making sure. All right. So since that is blended, I'm going to use the same brush, go into that, whoa, that dark brown oak. And now we will blend and bring back the little bit of that dark outer corner. Now you know who I'm about to shout out. She has no idea who I am, but Nisha from Sugar Puff and Fluff, who years and years and years ago called this the outer 7, whereas everyone else was calling it an outer V. But do you see how it's a number 7? Because if you have hooded lids and you bring the point up higher, instead of doing a V out the side of your eye, because a V, when you relax your eyes, droops if you have droopy outer corners, as I do. So if you make it a 7, when you're relaxed, the point is actually an outer V. And it just doesn't bring anything down. So once I have barely anything left on my brush, then I bring it all the way in the crease. And this is mainly deepening the crease and deepening the outer 7 to push some of that heaviest skin back into the depths of invisibility. We don't want to draw attention to that area. So I'm just wiggling the blend here. And then making sure that outer 7 point is high enough. And then once most of that's off my brush, I will take it into the rest of the crease. Again, relax my eyes, look in the mirror, make sure that I can see just a little bit of that dark color when my eyes are relaxed. Now, I know I talk with my eyebrows up a lot. This is not something that I do because of any anti-aging or hooded eye thing. I've just always done it. I don't know why. I'm glad I do, because it makes my eye area look younger. But it is what it is. Let's get a highlight brush. I don't know what this is. Some random brush. My regular highlight random brush is still packed. There's not really a bright shimmer here, which is normally what I want. But I'm kind of tempted to do something a little crazy. Do you see this very bright green called Zest? I think I'm going to do that. I don't usually do... Ooh, it's bright. I don't usually do mattes as my highlight either. But you know, having a little something unexpected, I kind of like that. There's nothing wrong with surprising people. You know what I'm saying? Be the unpredictable one. Yeah, that's a very, like, graphic kind of look. I could be down with that. I think you could probably use this shade over here, but it's just not bright enough, in my opinion, to be a highlight. But I'm alright with this. Alright. Now I need some tight line, CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus. I still don't have a #1 favorite tight line. My current favorite is the Color Street gel pencil, but I still don't have one that lasts all day on me in my waterline. Specifically my upper tight line. I don't usually do lower waterline. I just do my upper tight line. And I know you guys gave me a bunch of suggestions, and I tried a few. I just still don't have a favorite. Alright, we need to curl these lashes. Dun dun dun. So what's new with you guys? Let me know. Tell me in the comments. What you been up to? What you bought lately? What kind of makeup are you loving right now? I need a mascara. Let's be bougie. Pat McGrath. Dark Star. Since the rest of my face is very expensive, we might as well go very expensive with the mascara. I do love this mascara. Like, that's one coat. Like, really? Yeah. One dip. To me, a dip is a coat. One dip is one coat. Most of the multiple strokes on the lash is actually just to shape them and get them all covered, since you usually don't get them all on the first swipe. So I call this all one coat. That's good mascara though. And I am a two coat kind of girl. For almost every mascara that I wear, I prefer two coats. Sometimes 3 if it's like a special occasion and it's all more banging, like doing a full beat face. Is that still a thing? Do people still say a full beat face? Like full beat? Full glam? I don't know what the kids these days are saying. I'm so behind on my YouTube watching. It's almost the end of the semester. A few weeks left. 3 weeks with finals. I'll be in the middle of week 1 of 3 by the time you see this. This is my Estee Lauder Zero Smudge, my lower lash mascara of choice. This tube is just about empty. Do you see, like, I have barely any? Like, oh, I'm trying so hard. Please, just give me a few more days. I need to buy another one. And I would prefer to wait for a sale. And your girl here was not thinking ahead, did not get it. Do they even have this in the Sephora sale? Like, Estee Lauder is one of those brands where, like, some of the things are available in some stores and others it's like exclusive to. I don't even know if they have this mascara at Sephora. Anyway, I need a new one. Desperately. Desperately. Alright, we need a lip. And I think because this is such a warm-toned eye look, I should wear a warm-toned lip. Remember the Lawless ones that I did lip swatches of? I can't remember which one was the warm-toned and which was the cooler of the warm. One was neutral, one was warm. Can I tell? Oh, I hope I got these lids right. Oh, the lids don't matter. Phew, thank goodness. I'm going to use Whisper. I think this was the neutral. It's their Forget the Filler Balm. My lips are so dry. Oh, I probably should have done lip liner with it, but I didn't. We will survive. We will survive. Whoa. I know you wanted to look up my nose. Alright, let's get this hair back down where it belongs. I don't know, it might not go back where it belongs. That is the downside of headbands. There we go, there we go. I'm also testing today a new recipe that I made up last night for... Wow, I really messed my hair up with that headband, didn't I? I made a hair pomade because I don't like any of the ones I've bought. They all have something that I don't like about them. And you know, when I can't find something that I like to buy, then I just try to make my own. I also recently trimmed my bangs myself, and oh, Tammy's gonna be mad at me. my hairstylist, she's gonna be mad at me. You can't tell most days, except today when I made it go, like, look at this little swoop-de-swoop. It was not doing that before I sat down and put my hair in that stinking headband. So if I bring more of my long hair forward, but now this hair has the pomade in it, and I made it go the other way. Ooh, now I kind of look like I'm in the Beatles. I like that. Okay, okay. So here you go. Do you think this eye look can hold up to this very expensive face? What do you think? I think it's lovely. Wildwood, Alter Ego, you done good. I am still hoping and praying for a dupe of the Natasha Denona. What is it? I Need a Nude? Still hoping. I'm still hoping. Alter Ego has not confirmed that they're doing such a thing, but many of you have told me in the comments that you have emailed them and asked them for that particular dupe, and that they've pulled the old wink wink nudge nudge kind of thing, which is the same thing they said to me when I mentioned to them that I had a lot of people asking in the comments for that palette. So I don't know. I can't promise you anything. I don't know anything, but they were very wink wink nudge nudge, and so I hope that means it's coming. Ah, that would be wonderful. I do feel like I look like I'm in the Beatles now. Yeah, okay. I could do this. I could do this. There you have it. Another Alter Ego palette. Another episode of... This isn't an episode of anything. Another episode of Makeup with Shelly is in the books. I was going to say, if you like foundation reviews, this was not a foundation review. I'm just in the wrong track of, like, all the things I usually say. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. Let me know in the comments. Do you have this palette? Oh, I have a code with them. It's always linked in my description box. I think it's 10% off. Shelly 10. Use that if you want 10% off. I think I get a kickback from that. I don't remember. I love them. This was sent to me in PR, by the way. Thank you. Thank you, Alter Ego. I don't remember if I said that at the beginning. I'm a bad YouTuber today. Can't remember anything. Words are not working well. I'm going to let you guys go. As always, Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. Hit me up over on Patreon. I've got some behind the scenes stuff over there. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.